In the day's other news, more than 80 people have died after a powerful cyclone swept through coastal India and Bangladesh. The storm packed winds of up to 118 miles an hour when it roared ashore Wednesday. In Kolkata today, cars maneuvered through flooded streets as rescue crews cleared away debris. About 10 million people in Bangladesh remain without power. China is considering a new security bill that could restrict opposition activity in Hong Kong. That comes after months of pro-democracy protests in the semi-autonomous territory. China's National People's Congress will begin debating the legislation tomorrow. Activists fear the move is another assault on the city's liberties. The Trump administration announced that it is pulling out of the decades-old Open Skies Treaty. The 30-plus nation agreement aimed to promote trust and avert conflict by allowing countries to conduct unarmed observation flights over each other's territory. President Trump said that the U.S. wants out because Russia is violating the pact, but he left open the possibility of a new deal.
Russia and us have developed very good relationship. As you know, we worked on the oil problem together. I think we have a very good relationship with Russia, but Russia didn't adhere to the treaty. So until they adhere, we will pull out. But there's a very good chance we'll make a new agreement or do something to put that agreement back together.
Russia's foreign ministry warned the U.S. withdrawal will impact the interests of all the treaty's participants. We'll take a closer look at the decision later in the program. Floodwaters that breached two central Michigan dams began to slowly recede today in some communities after 11,000 people were forced to evacuate. Strong currents tore through parts of homes along the riverbanks. Governor Gretchen Whitmer today described the destruction.
And I can tell you, I've used this phrase many times over the last 10 weeks, but this is unlike anything we've seen before. The damage is truly devastating to see how high the water levels are, to see roofs barely visible in parts of Midland.
Whitmer said the state will investigate the dam's operators and take legal action if necessary. In the meantime, President Trump approved federal assistance to help Michigan's recovery efforts. The Senate today confirmed Congressman John Ratcliffe to be the next Director of National Intelligence. The vote was 49 to 44 along party lines. The Texas Republican has been a staunch defender of President Trump, but pledged in his confirmation hearing to be independent. He'll replace the acting director, Richard Grenell. President Trump's longtime personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, was released from a federal prison in New York today because of the pandemic. He arrived at his Manhattan apartment wearing a face mask to serve the rest of his sentence at home. Cohen had been behind bars since last May for tax charges, fraud, and lying to Congress. He had been scheduled to remain there until November of 2021. His release is part of a widespread effort to slow the virus spread in prisons. Georgia's Bureau of Investigation has arrested the man who video recorded the fatal shooting of a black man, Ahmaud Arbery, back in February. William Roddy Bryan Jr. was taken into custody on a felony murder charge. The two main suspects in Arbery's killing, a white father and son, Gregory and Travis McMichael, were arrested earlier this month. In the presidential campaign, there is word that the presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, invited both of New Hampshire's Democratic senators for initial interviews to be considered for his vice presidential running mate. Maggie Hassan agreed to take part, but Jeanne Shaheen reportedly declined the invitation. Former Vice President Biden has pledged to pick a woman as his running mate. Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband have agreed to plead guilty in a college admissions bribery scandal after a year spent claiming they were innocent. Loughlin will serve 2 months behind bars for conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. Her husband will serve 5 months. Prosecutors will in turn dismiss charges of money laundering and federal programs bribery. The couple is accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to get their daughters into the University of Southern California. And today's unemployment report pushed stocks lower on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost more than 101 points to close at 24,474. The Nasdaq fell 91 points, and the S&P 500 slipped 23. Still to come on the NewsHour, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam discusses efforts to reopen his state. The Trump administration plans to withdraw from a critical arms control treaty. With the economy in free fall, the struggling retail sector faces a grim future. Plus, much more.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.